Hello everyone, MFPallytime here, and welcome back to the A through Z playthrough. In today's video, we have landed upon Hogger. If you didn't hear the news, sorry for the break in between episodes of this series. We're planning to do 3 a week. That's what we're shooting for each week, but we took about 2 weeks off. There was a death in Holly's family. Her father passed away quite suddenly, and we were just trying to figure out how to navigate life after that. We're getting there, a little bit better every day. We're doing a little bit better every day. That's all we can do. But that's why we took some time off from not only this series, but all of them. Unfortunately, if you were looking for a lot of facts about Hogger, I don't have them. So I am actually going to ask the YouTube comments to fill in the blanks for me here. I looked at his patch notes and it was just kind of like we nerfed some stuff and we buffed some other stuff. As a character who didn't really follow Hogger and his progression throughout the game, I didn't see a lot in there to really sink my teeth into. But if there were some changes to Hogger that really stand out to you, I would love it if you would share it down in the comments. This is one of the few instances where I'm just like, I don't know. I don't know what's happened. And it's okay to say you don't know when you don't know things. He was added into the game on December 1st, 2020. It's almost been a year. We're about a month off from that. His current win rate right now is 52%. And he has a popularity of 12%, with about 4% of that popularity being bans. I'm trying to think of instances where I wouldn't want to play against a Hogger, probably on Infernal Shrines. I imagine his ability to clear those little dudes quite quickly could be troublesome. Maybe even Brax's holdout. I bet he could push through a Zerg wave pretty quickly. Like I said, Hogger was a character I didn't give any attention to until recently. We went through a few training streams where I was just trying to learn the character. Only managed to get him up to level 7, so we didn't fully dive into him like we did with Diva, but I still learned a little bit about the character, and hopefully in today's video I can educate you a tiny bit. I really like the build we went for. I tested a bunch of different talents to kind of land here, and I like the setup quite a lot, and I hope you guys enjoy the video. Please don't forget, we're still doing it. November 6th is going to be our charity stream over on twitch.tv/MFPallytime, trying to raise $37,000 to help sick kids at the Arnold Palmer Hospital in Orlando, Florida. We do this every single year. I think this is our 12th or 13th year, and I would love to have you there again. Thank you so much for the support, and thank you so much for your patience while we're trying to figure everything out here. We're getting through it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we find ourselves on Blackheart's Bay today. The friendly team Hogger, Abathur, Zeratul, Azmodan, and Vala. Enemy team Hunzo, Nova, Zul'jin, Theoric, and another Abathur. Dueling Abathurs on Blackheart's Bay. How fun, how fun. At level 1, we are going to go for On the Prowl. Activate to gain 30 rage over 8 seconds. You heal for 8 health every second, increased by 2% per point of rage. So it's basically like having a regen globe active all of the time, which is really nice for when I'm moving in between objectives, moving down to do things at the other side of the map, stuff like that. Passive regen in between is really nice, especially when you consider that Hogger doesn't have any mana that he needs to use to cast his abilities. Makes it really easy. I'm just going to move up and throw a easy throw dynamite towards our adversaries there. Just does some damage in an area with an 8-second cooldown. I'll let you see it again. If it impacts an enemy, it blows up right away. If it does not, it does have a little bit of time before it will explode. So you can kind of zone people out of an area or just deal increased damage to a single target. Over the course of learning this character, and I wouldn't say I'm an expert but in any means, but over the course of learning this character, I have tried a bunch of different ways to play him. For instance, there, I should have thrown out the dynamite a little bit faster while he was still stunned. That would have been nice. One thing this character excels at, though, and I'm so glad he does, is taking mercenary camps. Look at this clear. We can turn our E ability on. This is Hog Wild, and it allows us to just bounce back and forth between terrain. It took me a long time to really get used to doing this, because as you could see, if you fuck up, you go flying. But this ability in particular does allow Hogger to be an absolute monster at taking camps like this. One thing he can do as well is use his trait, which is the Loot Horde. That trait spawns meat for him at the end of its life that allows him to heal for a percentage of his damage. Yet another way we can heal our character. But we can also use that to actually ricochet off of terrain another way. We can improve our bouncing because we don't need to rely on the terrain itself to really get some big advantages. I'm going to go ahead and pop my rage increase right now. I'm going to try to DPS down this chest, especially with Leoric in a really bad spot there. We're gonna grab those coins and peace out back to my lane. Don't really know what my team's doing at this point. I'll fully admit I am tunnel visioning really hard, but so far so good as far as controlling coins goes. At level 4, we are going to pick up Hogger's Joggers. This is going to... I never read the name of that talent. This is going to make it so while we're at 50 rage or above, it's going to double the bonuses of increase. So we get 20% healing and movement speed when we have a lot of rage. When we don't have a lot of rage, we get 10% of both of those things. Again, just makes it easier to roam around the map, do my own thing, live my own dream, and then get away. Let's start getting into the habit of throwing some TNT into that area. One thing we should talk about as well is my staggering blow. This is on my Q ability, 12-second cooldown. If we hit an enemy with it, it's going to knock them back. If they get knocked back into terrain, they will take additional damage. Looks like Vala left the game. That's pretty unfortunate. The real Tazdingo's right over there. We do have bombs falling on these guys. Ooh. Okay. I tried to go in, drop my thing, and stun him into it. But what actually happened is a mystery to me. Maybe we can look at that in editing. Maybe the loot horde didn't actually form in time, so he wasn't knocked back into it and then wasn't stunned. I'm really not sure. Also not sure how Zeratul could possibly resist the temptation of continuing to dive that with me. We are going to pick up Seeing Red. While above 50 rage, we gain a 35% increased attack speed and cooldowns of Staggering Blow and Wild Hog refresh 30% faster. As you can see, a lot of what we're doing is really based off having a high amount of rage at any given time. I think I just saw a lot of Abathur mines down here get deleted. With the enemy team missing, Leoric can obviously scout us out whenever he feels like it, but I can still get started on taking this mercenary camp, and we have the ability to do this very quickly, especially if Zeratul comes in to help us. Looks like the enemy team's Leoric is going to be reforming. I'm just going to try to knock him into the wall. We were successful in doing that. I probably should mention at some point as well that our loot horde actually blocks terrain from our enemies, meaning we can use it to great effectiveness at oh, that was beautiful. At just trying to block pathing for our enemies to restrict them from being able to move. Really strong. And that, when I was learning Hogger, was actually the focus of a lot of my builds because I thought it was such an interesting mechanic. Not very many characters can actually build terrain in a meaningful way that fucks with enemies a lot. Hogger's kind of special in that regard. See, here's my problem with doing it this way. I never get the angle right on the loot horde, and I think that's my fault. Like, I'm not blaming anybody. I just can't seem to get it right. However, we do have an alternative to go in here and do some pretty good damage with just our regular auto attacks. Because we are an auto attack build and we have high rage, we can really rip right through this camp in a number of different ways. Looks like the enemy team is moving towards my building at the bottom. We're gonna take Hortipult. This is super duper fun, and I just got done saying that I used to build for blocking terrain a lot more, and that's true because there are some other talents that support it, but this ability is pretty much the same kind of thinking. Oh, good stun on Hanzo into the wall. We throw the TNT and get that instantaneous kill. Then we finish off Leoric as well, meaning we get all of those coins really easily. We can then use our Hog Wild to jump back towards the coin chest. And you know what? We can use our ult to jump over this super fast. Throw some TNT down to make sure there's no Abathur mines. Our heroic ability does have, I think, like a minute cooldown, so you don't want to use it for moving over terrain like that all the time, but that seemed like a good opening for us to capitalize on. Yes, indeed, 60 seconds. One thing that's unique about this ability as well is that its cooldown starts, well, maybe, you know, not entirely unique, but kind of quirky because this doesn't happen all the time. The cooldown of our Hordipult ability actually decreases while the ultimate is active, which can be really, really nice. And again, I'm looking here and I'm not seeing too many ways for me to actually take advantage of this situation. So let me throw that down. This should be pretty good. Nope. Still something I'm trying to improve on. Still something I'm practicing. Unfortunately, I was just getting into practice mode with Hogger. We played probably 10 games on him because he was one of those characters that, of course, I never touched because he's new and new things are scary. Why would I play something new when I could play my old reliable characters that always work? They've always been good to me. I kind of fall into that trap a lot. And Hogger, unfortunately, was kind of a prime example of that. We do have really fast clears on coin camps, as you can see. We're going to take Pummel. This is going to reduce the spell damage of any enemy that we manage to hit with Hog Wild. Oh, yeah, dude. There's just something so satisfying about clearing camps, man. I can't get enough of it. Lots of enemies are missing right now on the map. Our friendly team does have a level advantage. However, the enemy team does have enough coins to turn in right now. If I can get some help up here, this would be nice, but I'm not going to, like, die for it. You know what I'm saying? In fact, with Dazdingo running towards me, that's going to be enough to make me want to run away. He is unkillable currently. There we go. Now we can kill him. I was trying to make a little bit of room for our Vala to kind of get by there. I'm going to pop my On the Prowl rage bonus to try to heal up a little bit. The more rage we have, the more healing we get. I'm going to turn in the 8 coins that we managed to scour across the map and fire off another objective at this enemy team. This one's going to be heading towards the bottom structure. So there are a lot of cool tricks that you can do in lane. I tried to do one of them earlier versus Dazdingo, where I throw down the loot horde and then try to kill them right on top of it. Another thing you can do is just drop this in lane and then Hog Wild off of it. Again, I don't really know how to change the direction of where those corners are facing, though. That's usually what messes me up. Like I said, I'm still kind of in the learning phase for this character, but this is looking pretty nice. We can use our rage again to keep that flowing even while we're out of combat. Go into lane and keep this pushing towards our enemy team's defenses. Leoric for the enemy team is dead. Vala was true to her word and cleared that boss really, really quickly on her own. That means the enemy team's likely going to answer that rather than me down here. So I'm actually going to keep pushing. Even though I'm by myself, even though I'm probably a little overextended, especially at this point, we're going to be okay. We're going to increase the damage when we actually stagger an enemy into a wall or structure. It's going to deal 8% of their bonus maximum health in damage, which can add up quite a lot. The enemy team not responding to boss in any way, instead paying attention to Vala in the middle lane. That's giving me a lot of hope about this push, I got to be honest with you. I don't believe our Hog Wild does any damage to buildings. In fact, I can check that really quickly. I didn't see anything pop up, so I'm not going to focus on that strategy here. Boss is still moving in. It looks like they are starting to stop it right now. Hey, bud. Hey, bud. How are you? I don't think I can get him. I don't think I can get him. We could go for a little bit of healing over there. Unfortunately, Hanzo coming after us is a bit of a problem. Let's continue to run away. Pop our On the Prowl for increased rage regeneration and healing, and just disengage like nothing ever happened. As I was learning Hogger, that was probably the funnest part of the character. Just the amount of stuff that you can get away with is so hilarious. Our friendly team going for another turn in here. This hasn't been the most competitive match in the world. Whoa. But an arrow out of nowhere. Is he actually following that up? They still need my 3 to turn in. If they push in, our friendly team is right here ready to deal with it. So that's pretty good. As we make our way over to the left side of the map to get this mercenary camp pushing one more time. Oh, I have an idea. What if I try to group these guys up a little bit more? Can you get over? I mean, I'm actually just kind of killing it. Yeah, never mind. Never mind. We could try to move up here, throw our thing back this way, but you see the corner? I don't get the corner. I don't get what I'm doing wrong. If you could tell me down in the comments, I would actually really appreciate it. I feel like I dedicated a lot of time to getting the core mechanics of the character down, like what I can and cannot live through, but the nuances of how do I make the corners of my trait go the right way is completely lost on me. 4 members of the enemy team currently dead. We have a 4-level lead as well. This is looking pretty dire for them as we continue to just macro the map, try to gather as many coins as we can. Maybe I'll even go in for something over here. I mean, with 4 of them dead, we should be pushing the core. We really should. Oh, wait a minute. Is this a flat surface? Yes, dude. That's what it's all about, dude. That brings me up to 7 coins. We have 10 right now. Dude, I can get enough coins. The core's at 76% health right now, but I can get enough coins here. I can end the game. Rogue Hanzo Arrow just goes by us at level 20. We are going to go for no control enemies that group up, which this enemy team hasn't been fighting at all. But if they do, I can kind of use this to pinball in between them like crazy with Hog Wild, which can be really, really fun. Unfortunately, my coin dream, my one more objective, never came to pass. I know there wasn't a lot of team fighting in this video. I'm kind of sorry about that. But I still think we did okay. Character just getting to level 7, or halfway through level 7. Like I said, I haven't played him a ton, but I was trying to learn. We did go for On the Prowl, Hoggers, Joggers, Seeing Red, Hordepolt, Pummel, Headbanger, and No Control at level 20. Abathur's so confident he didn't even pick his, and Nova's so confident she didn't even get her level 16. A little bit of a stomp here. Here's our damage for the match. I spent more time wandering around the jungle than I did fighting foes. But thank you guys so much for watching. I do hope you enjoyed this video. We are going to be playing Illidan in the next A through Z episode, and I do love me some Illidan. My goodness, he's probably my favorite melee character in the game, so I can't wait to jump in there. Thank you guys for being here. See you again soon. Don't forget about the charity stream. It's coming up fast. I'll see you guys again next time. Bye.